So Wuthering Waves version 2.0 has overall been a massive success. There's been a ton of people all over the globe enjoying this update. It seems like Wuthering Waves is finally entering a period where things are just going great. But just a couple of days ago, we actually had an update from the Korean audience. Now, if you don't know, I actually made a video about this about a week ago, and pretty much it talks about the entire situation of the Koreans at the moment because they've had a lot of mistranslation and kind of localization issues. And well, this provides us a big update on how the Korean players are actually demanding a ton of stuff from Kuro Games because the game just isn't good enough for them. Now, obviously, after I made that video, I actually made a second channel video talking about the amount of hate that I actually got for the video talking about the Koreans. And well, I just want to kind of preface at the start of this video, we all get it, okay? You're not a Korean person, it doesn't affect you. But also, I do want to kind of provide this kind of information to everyone to let people know what's going on over in Korea and, you know, how these players are actually struggling with the game at the moment. Now, I think another thing as well that I need to point out was that I actually asked people who are Korean and, you know, played on Korean servers and stuff like that to comment down below whether they've been having issues. And well, the general kind of consensus was it's pretty bad in terms of mistranslation or localization, but it's not game breaking. So they still enjoy, you know, going around the world and doing stuff, but it seems like the story is just where it kind of gets ruined a little bit just because of some kind of poor translation, stuff like that, which just ruins the overall continuity of the story, which again makes much more sense. And obviously it seems like we do have an update right now. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you guys do enjoy it, and also use my code KAZA, get 10% off a ton of cups and tubs. I definitely recommend going over that. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff, including this hoodie. Again, this one's really cool, really warm. Again, anyways, let's get back into the video. So this is a Reddit post on r/Wuthering Waves saying a sad supplementary story after uploaded post about Korean user frustration. So this person actually posted another post about the whole situation I talked about in the other video, and then they go on to say, I really appreciate for you guys for support and understanding of our situation. I was worried that if my post was misunderstood as some kind of trolling tabloid for the harm of the wuwa community's mood, I don't have any intent for that nasty purpose. Just wanted to deliver and share our situation here, and I have to say I'm really glad that my purpose worked for many good people like you bruvs. Thank you so much. Again, throwing in a bit of British slang there, fair enough. But then they go on to say, however, unfortunately, I have to deliver a sad supplementary story about what happened after my post uploaded. Let's wind the clock back days ago. After my post uploaded, Korean community of wuwa decided to make a strong statement for Kuro for the purpose of improving Korean localization service. So these are all the demands in the statement that they've actually sent to Kuro Games, and they say the thing that they want demanded to Kuro Games are 3 things and asking for an official response by January 24th. If you don't know, at the time of recording right now, it's the 26th, so they haven't replied in 2 days. It seems like I haven't actually seen any reply from Kuro Games. They say the things that they demanded was that they wanted an explanation of why these kind of issues occur to this date. Instead of meaningless excuses, explain the reason during the Korean localization process. Don't you ever trying to irresolutely pass over this issue like the user meeting held on last August 24th, which again, we talked about that. Obviously, you know, they said they're going to do a ton of stuff and then it just never happened. And then they go to the second point saying, providing us the detailed roadmap for how to improve Korean localization process from now on. And also number 3, the executive director of Korean localization team should be replaced because this position should have responsibility for all of this happened, yet him, known as Bill, doesn't have any responsibility, yet doing many excuses instead of showing any effort for improvement. This fact makes the consequences that break the trust of Korean users make them leave. So again, obviously I'm sorry for a little bit of like the broken English. I'm assuming this person is Korean, so you know they're not like completely fluent in English, but to be fair, they've done a really good job of putting together this whole article. And this is actually Bill, the Korean you know, executive producer or whatever of the localization team, which again is crazy. And then they say, before I continue my explanation about the issue, there was a terrifying rumor that existed about Bill. The rumor is that Bill, a guy, was actually the same person who ruined played politics inside of Girls Frontline, other gacha game title, Korean localization services many years ago. So it seems like he did some bad stuff over at Girls Frontline as well. Now, obviously, I don't want to say anything too bad about any of these people because, again, a lot of this information could be false. A lot of this could be just like kind of emotionally charged, obviously, because they think that, you know, the game's going down in Korea and that, you know, it's not doing so good in Korea, which again, totally makes sense. But, you know, I feel like we shouldn't go too harsh on these people. Now, obviously, I feel like Bill, if he is the kind of executive director of the localization team in Korea, he should definitely step up if they're having these issues. And, you know, I definitely think having these demands is, you know, fine. And they say the one who mentioned is something I can't read that. I don't know what the Korean thing is. But he says he was famous for ruining other work pieces of the appointments, instead made every possible measured work forced to through him because making himself for stand out at the team. After other staff accusations, he got fired from the Girls Frontline Korean localization team. Then he spread his dirty mind to other games companies and localization teams. So again, that I think is like a little bit of a theory that they've got going on there. I don't know how factual that actually is, so I don't want to go too deep into that. And they say that was years ago, but he managed to remain in his league. As far as I know, what he did at this league is mostly bad things. Without even exaggerating, this guy just remains at this league for just ruining every single subculture service, Korean server management or localization. And many Korean subculture users have doubt that this Bill is the same person as someone else. So they're saying that he may be using some kind of alias, and that Bill is actually this person that has done these other things to other games. They say this is just a rumor and didn't verify yet, but the Korean wuwa community is still worrying about this. Also, many Korean punishing Kuro Games users had grievances upon him because they already suffered from discriminative localization services, just like global servers cases. So again, that's crazy. Again, that one is just a rumor, and they also add that to the bottom of the page there. So again, take that with a massive grain of salt. I believe that maybe some of that might not be true. Hey, we'll have to wait and see. But they say to continue the topic, as for the outcome, unfortunately the statement didn't work at all. Even almost Korean wuwa community protesting the issues enthusiastic, official community, fan community, even through feedback services of the game, they were sent their statement for many days, yet Kuro didn't send any response even after the deadline passed already. Now they say now Korean wuwa community became like hell. Worst thing is that trollers crawling around, and they're mostly notorious and infamous for toxic fandoms of competitive games. So I'm guessing, you know, they have the issue of the Kuro shills, Hoyo shills, and maybe some other shills as well in there, kind of spreading a lot of negativity. Obviously, we have a lot of that as well over here too. So again, we can kind of relate to that and understand that. And they say, and some infamous radical feminazi community whose subculture and causing meaningless gender conflict, even at the issue that has any relation to it. That's crazy. Again, I don't know how true that is, but if they're getting involved, that's, yeah, I don't know, maybe that could be blown a little bit out of proportion. I don't know, but hey, I'm just presenting the information to you. Again, make up your own mind. They say these people have sent their driftless hatred and threat to wuwa fans and about competitive stuffs. I skipped the details, don't want to mention any specific title of a game or company either. You know what I mean. So, you know, I don't want to say it either, but hey, we all know what kind of a game they're talking about. They say, I don't want to cause any offense of every game's fans, but that fandom is just pure toxic and proving their ill-natured mind even now. They say these radical communities, let's just say they are seriously notorious here, and we still don't know why they hate subculture so much like this level. In fact, they were the ones who actually uploaded the false bomb terror threat upon the Kintex at last November. So again, they actually, you know, provided threats to an entire kind of event that's going on. If you don't know, the Kintex Stadium is a massive convention hall, which, you know, they hold AGF at and stuff like that. So, and they actually sent in a threat to there. That's absolutely crazy. But again, they say, I don't have any interest in meaningless gender conflicts out of nowhere, because I believe all genders are and should be equal and had the right of respect. But I just can't understand why they're expressing such hatred upon subculture. Now, they say the good thing is that at least most of Korean wuwa fandoms think rationally, so they decide to avoid any toxic behavior despite how it feels to spare. One of the community managers said, please do not advise any toxic moves like give 1-star ratings for the purpose of backlash, or meaningless proof posts like I'm not playing this game, it's so stupid to compare to another game. The essence of the game community is shared by the people that have the same taste or intersected hobbies, talk about info or their passions, and go further and comfortably. That kind of move would not help the situation at all, and I think that is so true. So again, I feel like, again, I'm sorry if like the English is kind of broken up there. I'm just trying to read it as well as I can as they've wrote it. But again, it seems like there are these communities going after them and kind of, you know, calling in different threats and stuff to some of the conventions that they're attending and everything like that. And it seems like they're very angry at the fact. I'm guessing it's just that like wuwa is doing good, I guess. I'm not really sure. I think that obviously there's a little bit of a turmoil because they haven't had a response from Kuro Games at all. So people have just kind of gone absolutely crazy. And then obviously some people are like, you know, still enjoying the game. And then obviously some people are going after them for enjoying the game. So that's kind of crazy. And obviously we got the last paragraph here saying, unfortunately, despite the mature attitude from these users, I think there will be a gloomy atmosphere in the Korean wuwa community for a while. Just like bad situation of Korean society. Worst thing is, bad localization still happened after yesterday's update, such a case of changing corrected translation into original incorrect translation, and translating simple lines or paragraphs into meaningless long lines. How this Korean localization teams even don't know about the John Wick reference. So it seems like with some of the this is like one of the mistranslation things here. They say they suddenly roll back the wrong translation from the corrected one, which again is absolutely crazy. Now obviously as well, it seems like they missed out on the whole reference to John Wick in that event, so that's kind of bad for them too. And you can kind of see here why it does ruin some of the kind of game modes, but it doesn't like completely ruin it. You know, the game still runs. At the end of the day, the game still works, but at the same time, it is kind of annoying that they're missing out on all of the stuff that we're getting, that China are getting, that Japan are getting, which again, it's a big issue. Although I feel like Japan also has a couple of issues with mistranslation, as Ryuku mentioned in his video. Now they say this issue has affected on-off collabs of Korean area already. Some of you might see the Korean franchise Mum's Touch collaborated with wuwa, but recently held an event that could make users embarrassing, which is makes you move like Carlotta's ult, then saying her line. Wait, what? They make you say Carlotta's ult and then say her line? What? Normally, if this kind of event happens, the community atmosphere is a good mood. It would be not a problem for such a serious offense. Still embarrassing, of course, but probably considered as some sort of joke for fans who are enjoying subculture. But these kind of incidents happen. This issue turns into a whole different story, and now considerable counts of users complaints like, why do they keep making us do these kind of events? It's embarrassing. Do they have actual minds to communicate with us instead of doing these kind of off-collab stuff? Or do they just treat Korean users like a money bag, no more, no less? Probably they just hate Koreans, which is why they make us forced to do all these stupid events, yet don't show off any will to communicate with us or improve services seriously at all. As a fan who loves wuwa, just like you guys from many other countries, I want to share some good news here, but I'm really sorry I couldn't. Instead of deliver the bad news like this here, I'm really sorry, but we'll never give up on this matter. We'll figure out how to improve the management of Korean wuwa services without any bad behavior that toxic fans could ever. Thank you for reading this post, and once again forgive me for being such an impudent person, but asking you to give us the best of luck with this incident, which again, I think this is a totally fine post, and I think that, you know, the Koreans have every right to ask for better translation and stuff like that, because again, as I said, if it was me, if it was you, I'd be very annoyed as well if this kind of happened. Now, obviously, does this affect every single facet of Wuthering Waves? No, it does not. It does not affect any of us, but it does affect a pretty big audience in the Wuthering Waves community, which is the Korean audience. If you looked at some of my previous videos with the revenue stuff and how well they're doing and how many downloads they've actually got, well, a lot of the downloads have actually come from the Korean audience, so they want to keep them there, and one thing that's not going to keep them there is a lot of mistranslation to the point where it doesn't make sense at all. And I think that kind of last paragraph, they're talking about them being embarrassed by doing stuff at certain events, which again is absolutely crazy. And obviously this adds to this just whole feeling of the Koreans feel like they're just being used for money, you know? And I feel like that's a very, very bad, you know, way to go, especially for Kuro Games. You know, Wuthering Waves has always been about kind of like listening to the players and doing all of this stuff, whereas it seems like for this, the Korean players aren't feeling this at all. And I feel like, you know, this is something that they need to, you know, get on board. So if you guys want to do your own research on stuff like this and kind of support this matter, because I feel like this is a big issue. There was another article that I was going to go through, but I don't really want to go through it right now. Maybe I'll make it a separate video on it, but it's pretty much about the localization team taking a lot of translations without the user's consent, which just adds even more to the you know, stuff which is going on, because again, they were stealing fan translations, which is crazy. But again, we'll have to go through that in a different video and talk about it. But overall, it is a pretty serious situation going on. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this. Do you think that this is a big issue at the moment? I feel like it pretty much is, because it is affecting a large region. Now, obviously, as I said, this video might get a lot of hate. I literally don't care at all. I do want to cover a lot of these issues that are going on for these people, because it seems like, you know, it is pretty widespread. And even from people that don't make these big posts, they've been saying that there has been issues, but maybe it's not as bad as a lot of people are pointing out to me. But it seems to be pretty bad here. And obviously, yeah, leave a comment down below what you guys think. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe if you guys did enjoy this video. And yeah, as I said, go to Game Subs, use my code CASA, get 10% off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.